Hello, I'm Congressman Scott Peters from San Diego, California, and I'm so glad to be here with you virtually for National Clean Energy Week and your Policymakers Symposium. Our country prides itself on accomplishing big things, whether it's winning world wars, constructing an interstate highway system, or discovering the next medical breakthrough. Our greatest challenge this century will be combating the climate crisis. We've mobilized quickly before. During World War II, San Diego war factories built a bomber an hour, and today we're debating whether a decade is the appropriate amount of time to construct a single high voltage transmission line, a single offshore wind facility, or a geothermal plant. Last Congress, we provided record funding to build a cleaner and more secure energy system through historic legislation like the Inflation Reduction Act and the Infrastructure Investments and Jobs Act. This Congress, we need to work on speed because we can have all the money in the world and we will still fail if we don't act faster. This isn't a problem we can solve on our own, which is why I'm so thankful for your efforts and participation in this conversation. As you know, there's a lot of work to be done. The stakes are incredibly high. According to research from Princeton University, 80% of the projected emissions reductions from the Inflation Reduction Act depend on building transmission faster. 80%. So to hit our climate goals, we need to build 200,000 miles of new high voltage transmission lines by the 2030s. And over the last decade, we've only just built 1,800 miles a year because each one takes more than 10 years to complete. And it's not just transmission that's delayed. According to a new report from Boston Consulting Group, permitting timelines have doubled since the 1970s. And nearly half of all clean energy projects are delayed by the permitting process compared to just 15% of fossil fuel projects. Look, in the 1970s, our environmental priority was to stop dirty projects. We were on the defense. But now if we want to cut our emissions in time and build the green infrastructure of the future, our country needs to go on the offense. We have NEPA to thank for a great deal of environmental preservation, but its implementation is inevitably slow, with documents that are thousands of pages long and reviews that take more than 4 years to complete. That was a law responding to the challenges of its time. But it didn't come from Moses on stone tablets. It was written by people no smarter than anyone in this room. So we can and we should update it for the challenges of today. We can update our laws to protect our communities by requiring more opportunities for early and meaningful community engagement, which is the right thing to do and leads to better project outcomes. So despite long odds and a small step forward in the debt ceiling deal, we're not done advancing comprehensive bipartisan permitting reform this Congress. Just last week, I introduced a new bill with Senator Hickenlooper, the Big Wires Act. And that proposal would simply require regions be able to transfer a minimum amount of power among each other. This will make our grid more resilient to extreme weather, it'll lower costs for consumers, and will help us build out the transmission lines we need to carry clean and affordable energy from where it's produced to where it's needed by people and businesses. I'm also continuing my work with my colleagues in both parties to push forward a comprehensive permitting reform package that will help us meet our climate goals, improve community input, and fix the broken judicial process. But we will need all of your help and input to build support for these proposals and get them across the finish line. Thank you for your leadership, your service, and your passion. Each of you will play a key role in helping us pass bold, bipartisan permitting reform by the end of the year to unlock the clean energy revolution we desperately need. Thanks again for having me. Thanks for your work. And I wish all of you the best with the rest of the conference.